These gonna run through the Marx 6-inch passenger coaches. This would be the very first one that came out under the Marx name. Had some carryover pieces like the couplers and that from Joyline. They had the two-color lithography. The 201 observation you see there is somewhat hard to find. And you notice they have the lithographs, black lithographed frames. The one thing that will be common throughout almost all of these would be the names. You've got an observation that we just saw, the Pagoda and the Montclair. And those two names will be consistent throughout some of the different colors and so on. And this one here is a baggage car. Now Marx made a number of baggage cars in different colors, and I believe this in the black and red is the only one that actually truly matched some coaches. There are other baggage cars in kind of a red with yellow lettering, different color, an off red with silver lettering, there's green with yellow lettering, and so on. But this one here actually matches the coaches, making it a little nice on it. And these here were 1935 only. Now the same body with different style frames could be seen for a few more years. These coaches have taken on more colors in the litho, and these have the red lithograph frames. So these have been 1937 and 1938 only. You'll notice they're Pagoda and Montclair again, but another difference between the black and red ones we saw earlier is there's no number on the body. And then we'll come down here, and these are again the same lithography, but these are the lighted versions. The windows are punched out. They have the handrails added to the outside, and this is an on-off switch for the light, so you can run it with or without the lights. And again, you got Pagoda and Montclair. Interesting thing about all of these, throughout the line, even the black and red ones with the numbers, and some other ones later on we'll see that do have a number on the side, is the catalog number for a coach, whether it's Pagoda or Montclair, is always 557. And the catalog number for the observation, no matter what, is 558. They may have an A or a B or something like that on the end occasionally, but the same basic catalog number throughout the history of the 6-inch passenger coaches, at least the four-wheel ones. And the next step are the Canadian Pacific coaches. Now you notice these are 8-wheel. They did come as a 4-wheel coach. The 4 wheels are very, very rare. They came with a wind-up set, and the locomotive and those cars are just extremely rare. One I assume I will never own. Anyway, these came in 8 numbers, beginning with 246, and they would run down to 253. Now, if you could count as I was scrolling by, there's a number missing right there. I go from 247 to 249, and that would be one Quebec. 248 would be a Quebec, and I don't own one. Still looking. A tin-plated silver frame. These were made in 1939 only. Again, they carry the same model number as all, or catalog number. I'm blessed with having found a few of these with just stunningly bright frames. They tend to get very, very dull and almost black sometimes through age, and I do have a few of them that are just nice and shiny. These blue ones with blue frames were from 1950 to 1954, and they only came as a came with wind-up Mercury locomotives. So they had plastic wheels and they had the sliding couplers. There is another variation with a black frame, and that was an aftermarket sale type thing. Didn't come with any sets that we know of. And you'll notice especially on the observation, and this is pretty normal of the blue cars, some very broad differences in color of the pieces. Silver coaches were made in 54 and 55. They're not real common. They do have numbers on their sides, which makes them a little bit unusual in this style for Marx. They were available in a couple different variations, as in different couplers and different wheels and so on. These happen to be out of a Sears set, and so they have die-cast wheels and plastic knuckle couplers. The observation is the hardest one to find of the lot, mainly because they came more often in combination sets, which had a mixture of freight cars and passenger cars, but a combination set wouldn't have had an observation. So a set, a passenger set, is fairly unusual. These nice and colorful green and yellow cars came with the Seaboard sets, with the small Seaboard FM type locomotive, and was in matching colors. And although it doesn't say Seaboard on the car, us Marx folks would generally consider them Seaboard cars. But like all of the rest of them, they're just going to say Pullman and Montclair, Pagoda observation. Of the 6-inch coaches, this one had probably pretty much the longest run. They ran from about 1938 to 1961, about the time it became almost illegal to make a metal toy, thanks to our friends at OSHA. These cars through the years came with a number of minor changes and variations in couplers and frames and wheels and so on. This particular one is one of the later ones out of a Sears set. It has the plastic knuckle couplers and die-cast wheels. Everything I showed you just really touched on the surface of each color and body style of the passenger cars that Marx made, the 6-inch types. There are a lot of other variations out there that I may or may not have, but if you want to know just about everything there is to know about them, this is the CD you need to buy. You can go to toyandtrainguides.com and pick one of these things up. Unlike your Greenberg guides and so on that give you a couple of pictures and then pages and pages of text, this will give you a picture of every known variation. So you don't get any better than this, and they're well worth the price. Like I said, there's a lot more than what I just showed you, so pick one of these CDs up.